Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how Ms. Marvel's X-Men changed the MCU forever. Let's get right into it. Finally, it happened. While the word mutant was not used, we now have our first undeniable, canonical mutant in the MCU, and her name is Kamala Khan. But wait, let's take a step back. There have been several mysteries surrounding Kamala's powers throughout Ms. Marvel. The show initially led us to believe that the bangle was the source of her light-based abilities, but it was later revealed that Kamala's ties to the clandestine, as well as their connection to the Noor dimension, enabled her to channel that power through the bangle. In other words, Kamala's abilities were inborn to some extent, and the bangle simply assisted her in unlocking them. Ms. Marvel Episode 6 revealed in the season finale on Disney Plus that there's something else behind Kamala's power, and it's the first official, major signpost to the X-Men coming to the MCU. So, is Ms. Marvel a mutant? Well, Bruno tells Kamala in the closing moments of the episode, "We know why you have access to the Noor and how you can wield it." Bruno then said, "But when I compared you to the rest of your family, something still seemed off. There's something different in your genes, like a mutation." If you pay close attention right after Bruno says those words, you'll hear a brief preview of the X-Men, the animated series theme song. That famous piece of music has been used twice by Marvel Studios. The first time when Patrick Stewart appeared as Charles Xavier in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So, it appears that Kamala was predestined to develop superpowers in any case, as the X factor in someone's genes usually causes powers to manifest during adolescence. With that in mind, we must examine how Kamala used her abilities in this episode. We finally saw her embiggen, which was a dramatic departure from how she used her light powers throughout the series. Is the fact that Kamala is a mutant a hint that she might have developed her more comic-accurate powers, where she physically shifts her mass without the Noor or the bangle? It is feasible, but there's something else to consider in regards to Kamala's comic book origin. In the comics, Kamala's abilities were activated after a Terrigen bomb exploded over the New York metropolitan area, causing a mist to descend on Jersey City. Any human with latent inhuman DNA in their genes was activated with wild and unpredictable abilities. So, why did the MCU change Ms. Marvel's origins from being associated with the Inhumans to being associated with the X-Men? It's a funny story. There was an active push in Marvel Comics at the time of Ms. Marvel's creation to prioritize the Inhumans as a major force in the Marvel Universe. Why? Because the powers that be saw them as a possible stand-in for the themes and strangeness that frequently accompany the X-Men. Because this was happening at the same time that the MCU was becoming increasingly culturally dominant, there was an effort to make the comics more thematically and visually aligned with the ascendant Marvel movies and TV shows. Because this was before the Disney-Fox merger, the concept of mutants was not available for use on screen by the MCU, as 20th Century Fox still owned all screen rights to all related concepts. For several years, Marvel Studios had an Inhumans film in the works that never materialized. This eventually shifted to their TV division, which resulted in ongoing Inhumans-centric storylines on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as the infamous Inhumans TV series. As these same concepts were introduced on screen, there were clearly hopes for some brand synergy by making Inhumans lore central to the comics. This isn't to say that there was ever a plan in the comics to make Kamala a mutant, because that almost certainly wasn't the case. But Kamala's origin in the Inhuman comics is by far the best, most important, and longest-lasting legacy of this strange period in Marvel history. Needless to say, it's amusing that after Kamala was created during a time when the comics were actively attempting to downplay the importance of mutants, her TV origin has been tweaked to make her the very thing Marvel was once attempting to avoid, just in time for them to begin introducing mutants and the X-Men to the MCU. So, are there other mutants in the MCU already? A wise beyond her years, Kamala tells Bruno in response to his bombshell about genetic mutation, "Whatever it is, it's just gonna be another label. It's difficult to say what this means for mutants in the MCU." Kamala's response appears to indicate that the term mutant isn't widely used in this world yet. Even if that's the case, Kamala doesn't have to be the first mutant in the MCU, or even part of the first generation of mutants. Mutants have most likely always existed, but have remained hidden for fear of persecution. At least, that's how it was established in the comics. If Marvel Studios truly intends to introduce these concepts, and eventually the X-Men, slowly, they may take a different approach. We may get to see the story of the first generation of mutants as they discover their abilities, how society reacts to their appearance, and much more. Only Kevin Feige knows for certain, and we might find out more at Marvel Studios' big San Diego Comic-Con panel. That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any future content we'll produce for you guys. We're signing off now, but we will be sure to catch you all in the next one.